Arman Tsarukyan and Carlos Prates just got caught in a wild press conference brawl at the Hype Brazil event ahead of tonight's grappling card. The chaos erupted during the face-offs with punches, shoves, and security rushing in as the room turned into a full melee. Prates looked like he was having the time of his life, grinning and hyped up the whole time, while Arman seemed to want no part of it, trying to back away and avoid escalating further. This is the latest in a string of heated moments for Tsarukyan, coming off his own viral wrestling brawl at RAF 6 in Arizona just a week earlier. Speaking of Arman and the lightweight division, Paddy Pimblett just reacted to the Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje fight booking, saying people are seriously underestimating Justin and we might see a big upset. In a recent video, Pimblett also revealed his own return timeline. He's aiming to fight again this summer after his loss to Gaethje at UFC 324. He's already back training hard, dismissed any long layoff talk, and said he's ready whenever the UFC calls, likely targeting a big European matchup like Benoit Saint-Denis, or even a massive fight against Charles Oliveira to climb back toward contention. Let's roll the clip.
And then my two mates in the main event, Ilia versus Justin. Ilia did say he was going to come back around this time, so June, perfect for him. And obviously Justin Gaethje said himself when he was fighting me, he wants to beat me and then go on to fight on the White House. And he's done it, you know what I mean? That's off to him, he said he was going to do that. That's a scrap, you know what I mean? They're going to come out and they're going to try and take each other's heads off, but everyone's already counting Gaethje out, and we've already learned you can't do that. I don't know, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Gaethje might pull off an upset here and surprise everyone. But as you know, it's a fight. It's a fist fight. It can go either way. Anyone could beat anyone. In the White House, he's probably going to have a little bit more motivation to go out there and win because it's in front of his presidents in his home country. We'll have to see how that one plays out, because obviously it's big implications for the rest of the division. I'm obviously going to be watching that. I'll have my eye on that, but I'm going to be focused on whoever I get to fight next, and hopefully I'm going to find out the next few weeks. And hopefully it's around that time. Hopefully it's around June, July.
Alex Volkanovski just reacted to Charles Oliveira's dominant performance against Max Holloway, admitting he was genuinely surprised by how impressively Charles controlled Max on the ground during their BMF title fight. Having fought Max 3 times and attempted to take him down himself, Volkanovski knows better than most how difficult it is to keep him on the ground for any meaningful stretch of time. Max has elite takedown defense, explosive scrambles, and incredible get-up ability that has frustrated even the best wrestlers in the sport. Folk called it a statement performance that shows why Oliveira remains one of the most dangerous and complete fighters in the lightweight division, even after his recent roller coaster run.
And I thought he might be able to do that for a couple of rounds, but I can't see him. I thought like Max would eventually get up, and this is where the fight IQ comes in. It's like, even if he does take him down, I don't see Charles being able to. I thought there'll be more scrambles, which would affect Charles a little bit more. I thought he might get maybe that little bit more tired. Obviously, cuts a lot. Max is a freak when it comes to cardio, and I thought that, you know what I mean. So that's where I thought, even if he does do that game plan as that guy said, as like, if the fight keeps going, can he keep that pace going?
Khamzat Chimaev is suddenly back in the headlines alongside Ilia Topuria. To understand how we got here, you have to rewind a bit. About 2 months ago, Ali Abdelaziz went on Submission Radio and revealed that Khamzat didn't want to fight again this year, even though Dana White was openly pushing for him to defend once more before the calendar ended. That immediately shifted expectations toward an early 2026 title defense, with January or February being the target window, and Nassourdine Imavov emerging as the next challenger. Then that fight quietly fell apart, with Chimaev's team staying completely silent on why it collapsed. The first explanation finally came when Khamzat's close friend Aslanbek Badaev spoke to the Russian channel Usha Taika, claiming that the champ actually wanted to defend in February before Ramadan, but the UFC turned it down. That already raised eyebrows, but now comes the real bombshell. Imavov himself has spoken up, revealing that according to his talks with the UFC, the plan was to make the fight happen in February, and that the issue came from Khamzat's side, meaning Chimaev refused the early 2026 defense. What makes the situation even messier is timing, because Khamzat won't be able to fight in March or April due to Ramadan, pushing any realistic return all the way to May or June.
With Khamzat, we know each other well. He's a good guy, we have mutual friends, and we've spent a lot of time talking. He even came to train and helped me a lot ahead of the fight against Alan. That's what makes this situation complicated, but at the same time, we understand there isn't much choice. This fight was always going to happen. Honestly, it could have happened earlier. There's already a lot of noise back home in the Caucasus. I've got aunts calling my mother asking about the fight, people who know nothing about MMA. They're all talking about it, mostly saying this is a fight that shouldn't happen, that brothers shouldn't fight each other. Those are the kinds of conversations going on. From my side, I've done everything. We spoke with the UFC and they were ready to make the fight sooner. The timing wasn't an issue on my end, and February was on the table. From my side, I've done what I needed to do. We spoke with the UFC and I agreed immediately, but the situation on the other side didn't allow it to move forward as planned.
Nassourdine Imavov just called out Sean Strickland for an interim title fight, saying it's the fight that makes the most sense right now, given Khamzat Chimaev's ongoing inactivity and continuous refusal to defend his belt while pushing for a light heavyweight move. Imavov, the #1 contender at 185 pounds, explained why this matchup is logical. With Chimaev still without a single defense since winning the title in August 2025 and openly talking about jumping divisions, the division needs action. An interim belt between Imavov and Strickland would keep the middleweight scene moving and give fans a legitimate title-level fight while the champ sorts out his future. The Frenchman believes, this time around, it will be very different from their first meeting years ago when Sean won by decision. He pointed to several reasons he lost that fight and promised a completely different outcome now that he's more mature, well-rounded, and coming off a strong run. He said he's a much better fighter today and ready to prove it. He also teased that the build-up would be very interesting and personal. He admitted he hates Strickland because of past comments Sean made about his religion, which Imavov took as disrespectful. Alright, let's hear it from him.
But you're saying, bring me the clown for the crown. You're saying me and Sean for the belt. Do you know something we don't here, Nassourdine? Do you feel like this could be the fight? Khamzat moves up and you fight Sean for the vacant belt?
Ouais, c'est fort possible.
Khamzat tweeted that he wants to go up to 205. That's the first thing. For knowing him, I know he's heavy, and it will be easier for him to make the weight for the light heavyweight division. About Strickland, you know, it was a proposal. It was a proposal because, guys, something you need to understand is since 2 years I'm asking the UFC for this guy, and right now it will be a totally different atmosphere. But also why I made this proposal, because it can be a big fight. You know, it can be a big fight in the build-up because I don't speak so much, but this guy, I really hate him. So it will be fireworks outside of the cage.
Michael Morales just dropped a major hint that he's signed a contract to fight Islam Makhachev for the welterweight title. In a recent social media post, the undefeated Ecuadorian contender wrote, "Sorry Ian, Dana knows who really deserves the shot." The message appears to be directed at Ian Machado Gary, who's been vocal about being next in line after his recent wins in training camp in Georgia. Morales' comment strongly implies the UFC has agreed to give him the title opportunity instead, positioning him as the rightful challenger over the Irish contender. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.